FTD special today on the book releases. I'm Adam in the UK, and I'm with...
Oh, me, yeah, David in Japan. FTD books, you say?
FTD books, yeah. So we're going to start off by looking at this huge monster, the world of Follow That Dream Records. This is a body of work by Piers Bigley, Eric Lorentzen, and Keith Flynn. I'm struggling to hold this up.
3 volumes. Did they write one each?
No, it all seems to be a combination or a collaboration,
right,
of the 3. But it's 3 heavy books, 1,200 pages, and it covers all the releases from 1999 that ends in 2016.
Right.
I'm going to try and take these out now.
That's about what, 5-6 years per book. So they need another 2 volumes just to get up to date.
Yeah, so you've got 8 years of releases since this came out.
Mm-hmm. Is that still available?
It is. If you go online and just search the book, you can probably find a few places still selling it at the original retail price.
Right.
It hasn't gone up into silly figures, and I think it was around. I think originally it was just below the £200 mark, maybe a little bit less.
It's a fortune to ship that, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are proper size books. That's volume 1, volume 2.
Right.
And I did actually make a video on my channel, Elvis Presley Collectors Group, showing these books page by page, in a fairly quick fashion. Stop them being boring, and also I didn't really want to go against any copyrights on them, really.
Right.
But
I just sent a book about the same size as one of those to the US, and it cost over, what would it be? It was over $40, so it would have been about what, £35? No, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
and that's 3 times as big.
Right. I mean, shipping is really expensive nowadays.
Right. So why are they so big then? What's in the book that's that makes it so voluminous?
They're that heavy, it's trying to
yeah, I know what you mean.
Get the right angle on them. So what you got in each book, give me a second.
You need to get an easel, Adam.
Yeah. I do actually have one for doing my videos, but
right.
It's not great
for
when you're doing videos like this live. But okay, so you start off, you get all the contents, and then images of all the releases that are going to be in each volume. But you get to the meaty stuff and you start off with the first release.
Okay, so it's going in chronological order.
It is, yeah, which I quite like. And it's a kind of way. Well, no, I actually keep all my FTDs on the shelf in actual year of recording order,
right?
Rather than release dates. But what you get is all the album artwork, which is nice and clean to read and see. You get information on who's done the mastering for the audio. And then you get all the release date information, the catalogue information, the musicians involved in the content on the release. any extra notes about a particular rare song or any mistakes in the release, which is, you get the odd one, recording dates and things.
Right.
And then this is backed up with some great reviews. And these seem to be shared out by the three authors themselves on every release. And they go through them track by track. And also other Elvis experts and fans are involved. And that sets the format for the books, really. Another thing that I do like about these is there's a good selection of related images for each release to support them.
Right.
And like I say, for me, it's probably the essential books on FTD that I've seen.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, a real must-have, and 1,200 pages, and now my arm's going to fall off. It's a great set to have, and I'd really recommend it.
I'll keep you busy for a few weeks reading that.
Yeah. The only downfall with such a big book set, and something I was really annoyed with myself, I was creating a video one day, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll set out all the books and show them, and the darn things decided to fall off the shelf, and I ended up splitting.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, is it covered there? Yeah,
just the sheer weight of them. So they all came crashing down on me. I spent the rest of the day kicking myself.
Yeah.
So with the FTD books, I think it was only a couple of months ago that I actually learned that there's a Japanese version of the book.
I wonder how you found it.
And I didn't even know about these. You kindly sent me this. Is this the first issue?
Yeah, 2012.
2012, yeah. And I love the way this is presented. Obviously, I can't read Japanese at the moment.
It's the same as the English version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it's not the same, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But keep going.
Yeah. And when I saw these and saw your video, I thought, if I didn't know about this, and I don't know everything, there must be a high percentage of Elvis fans who don't even know this exists, unless they've watched your videos. And I'd love to learn more about them. The writers, the story behind them. Have there been more releases of these?
Well, that's done by a friend of mine, actually, Japanese guy, and he is a Japanese dealer, and a Japanese Elvis scholar, you might say. And so he wrote those. He imports FTD CDs into Japan, and he wrote that book, which was all in black and white. That one there, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Going up to about 2012, and then he republished it in 2015. This one here, and this one's in color. And what it does, it has one page per release. In most cases, some cases maybe 2 pages or 3 pages, but the basic idea is one release per page, and it's got the track listings at the top, all in English and in Japanese. And then at the bottom, it's got a little paragraph about the release itself, sometimes more information than others. And this, a lot of information at the back as well, like an index. It's also got a chronological list there as well. So it starts with Burbank at the top there and goes all the way down to 2015. And the way it's been arranged, you can see there's like black strips here on the side. These are all different categories. So it starts out with the 5-inch standard studio releases, and you can see it's Out in Hollywood is the first one. So each category is organized chronologically according to the contents. This one goes from 1957, and then the next one you've got is Silver Screen Stereo, which also starts in 57, and then you've got the gospel album. What's it called? The Easter Special CD, which was the earliest recordings on that one are 57 as well, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got Fame and Fortune, which is 1960 recordings and later. So that's the first section. Then the next section, it goes into live albums. I think the home recordings are in there as well. And these are also organized chronologically according to recording date. And then the next section is the classic albums.
Right, brilliant.
Elvis Presley, and then Elvis. And the next one after that is the soundtracks. I think most of these are 7-inch size.
Yeah.
And then you've got the books. Some of these have got CDs. Most of them have got CDs, but the ones without CDs are also included as well. And the last section in this book, I think there's, one more. It's the vinyl. And then in 2021, you published a second or supplementary volume. This one covering 2016 to 2021. This was just a slim volume, but it has the same thing, same idea. You start out with live albums, and then at the end here, it's got the new section, which is the sessions. So here you've got two pages per release here. And it's also got a lot of interesting data at the back, such as here. It tells you all the sources for the live material. Are they soundboard? Are they audience recordings? Are they multi-track recordings? And it's got a very nice color-coded index on this one. So each type is in a different color. Live, studio, classic album, or whatever.
They're brilliant looking books. It's really nice to see the updated versions.
Yeah, they're quite well done. Nice paper. A4 size, by the way.
What I really love about them is they look really accessible. Really easy just to pick up and have a good read, rather than the big, heavy coffee table books, as they call them.
Right.
Nowadays. I mean, as we can see, it's a big job to get these out and not damage them, I've done. And I tend to actually these days just leave them lying around in my office so I can just grab them when I want them.
Right.
But to have something like this, it'd be really welcome for a collector like me.
Well, I think that's the idea. Yeah, just something that you can pick up and browse through and get some pretty basic information about the releases, like what's on it and recording data, that kind of thing. So I've actually started translating this one here. I've done the first 4 years basically, which is about 30 odd releases.
Right.
And in some cases, I've just been basically translating what he's written, and in other cases, I've written something completely different depending on the original text. So I think a lot of, most people in not in Japan, they're probably quite knowledgeable about Elvis, so they don't necessarily need things like album chart positions. I think we sort of know all that information. So in some cases, I've gone into more detail about the recording sessions. And like you mentioned with the big books, mistakes, I'm trying to get the mistakes in here as well. If there's been any errors in the track listings or whatever, I've been researching all that and including that information as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information to try and gather, isn't there, on all the releases?
Well, the challenge with with a book like this is what to put in and what to leave out, because as you can see, this blue section here, that's all the space I have to work with to talk about this release here, for example.
Yeah.
Well, the track listings are in English and Japanese, so we get rid of the Japanese. That gives us a little bit more space to play with. But yeah, as I say, it's a question of what to include and what to leave out.
So are you looking at creating an English-only version, one edition that covers all the releases and updates?
Yeah, probably it will be like two books, the size of this one here.
Right, you'll do it over two.
Yeah, because it's going to get printed here in Japan. And while this is what 200 and how many pages has it got? About 180. So I mean, you could get a 360-page volume, one book, but it would be, funnily enough, it would be cheaper to get two 180-page books rather than one big 360-page book.
Right, is that because of the cost of binding a bigger book?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
so,
I can imagine.
It works out cheaper to get two of about that thickness there.
Yeah, but if it's an English version and it's nice and super glossy like this, with the updated releases, with the color images, it's just I'll reserve my copy now. You got a sale, David.
I've got a sale already. That's good.
Yeah.
That one, I think that the one that you've got there, that first one, I think the pages on the inside are quite rough out. That's rough paper, but this one that I have here, these two that I've got here, the paper is very glossy, so we're going to be using this kind of better quality glossy paper. Are
you going to leave an obi on it, a book obi? I think it's a really nice touch.
Yeah, that one's got one. I don't know if this one here with this is just a supplementary one. It's not very thick. I can't remember if this came with one or not. Because he actually gave me these two, so they didn't come with an obi, but I'm not sure whether they did when they were new.
Yeah, I think it's the only book I've got in my collection with an obi on now. But I thought it was a really nice feature on it.
Yeah, and don't give me more things to translate, Adam.
It could be your own version, but
yeah.
But maybe Japanese on the front and English on the back.
Right. Yeah, but it'd have to be the other way around.
Would it?
You want the English buyers to see the English first.
But it's coming from Japan, so.
Right, but you want them to be able to read it.
No, it just looks nice.
Yeah.
No, but if you can read it on the flip, then.
Right.
I'd be happy with that, but I do think the obi is a nice touch.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what extra cost is involved, if any.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some little references to Japan still in it, in some form or other, I guess. Yeah.
Although really, it's not really a Japanese thing, is it? It's all about FTD releases, and it's just coincidence that it's going to be coming out of Japan.
Yeah, well, we're getting a bit of a collection now, aren't we, with the big book, the discography, and the Aloha. I really love the Hawaii book.
Yeah,
that you translated and came out.
That's good.
Actually, I think I found that the storyline and the thought process around the lower made it a really interesting book.
Yeah, there's some good articles in there. Yeah,
there's little things that you just wouldn't naturally think of, and the connection with Japan and
right,
and everything. I think I guess if you're more into the history of everything, then it's really appealing. And then you've got the discographies when you're looking at your collection and trying to work out what you're buying.
Yeah, I learned quite a bit reading those the original stories that I translated. Yeah.
I tell you what, I did forget to mention as well with the World of Follow That Dream books. Keith Flynn.
Yeah.
He's got a great site, hasn't he? KeithFlynn.com.
One of the best Elvis websites on the interweb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use it a lot. It's really good because unlike books, with it being a website, you can get a lot more information on there about individual takes of songs. If anybody watching this is interested in Elvis's sessions, recorded music, then yeah, KeithFlynn.com. Check it out. It's an essential website.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the comments because it is a great website and another great. The amount of work that you must put into that.
Yeah.
And I think Keith put a lot of work into this as well. These. So whether we see a future update or not, I don't know. But Eric's always big on the books, isn't he? On releasing.
Yeah, I suppose the thing is, they wouldn't be able to release the whole thing again because it would take about 4 or 5 volumes, which would be even more difficult to sell than the first one. And then if they do release an updated version, you're going to have bought the first version to make it worthwhile buying the second one. So it will be a difficult sell, I think. Just an updated version.
And then all the stars are going to align, haven't they, to get all the people together to actually be able to dedicate the time and the energy to this sort of thing. So
yeah.
Remind me when the FTD World is coming out.
Oh, the English version. Well, at the rate I'm going with this, it's going to be another year before we're ready.
Right.
Because if you think about how many releases have been issued, how many CDs and albums have been released so far, it's about 300, right? Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to work on one a day, which is quite quick. That's pretty much a year, right? And that's just per release. There's other things to do, like the index and other things like that to be done as well. Introductions. Okay, yeah, I've done about 40 so far. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hopeful that we can get it done before the end of 2025.
Yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. So David's taking pre-orders now. And hopefully by then he's got 2025 pre-orders.
Yeah.
To help him with his one a day.
We're talking about publishing about 500. That should be enough.
Right. I guess with this sort of size books, it wouldn't take too much to do a second edition. And
well, the thing is, another good thing is that they're not that heavy compared to one with a hardback, so shipping should be quite reasonable as well.
I guess what you've got around about 10 new releases a year coming out as well. So as soon as you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you'll be constantly trying to.
No, there'll definitely be a cut-off point. We won't just keep it going until until we catch up. Because, like you say, you'll never catch up. Because even if we finish the most up-to-date one, there'll already be news coming about the next one. So,
yeah, I guess the end of 2025 probably isn't a bad cut-off, is it? There don't seem to be many outlets. I mean, you mentioned I didn't realize there was an FTD dealer in Japan until you mentioned today.
Yeah. I think it's just because there's just less demand for Elvis stuff over there these days. It's like we couldn't find anyone to act as an agent for our book, the Japanese vinyl book.
Right.
But yeah, we've got sellers in Europe. We've got a seller here in Japan, Australia as well, I think, but not in America.
It's strange, isn't it? I mean,
isn't it? I think for Elvis in America.
Yeah, for their own homegrown talent.
Yeah.
The USA, you need to sort yourselves out. You're
missing out.
Yeah, you can't just keep it all at Graceland. I mean,
you need to reclaim Elvis.
Yeah, someone needs to do it.
Yeah,
and become a good dealer. When you were showing the layout of the FTD world,
yeah,
it almost exactly copies how I keep my FTD collection in my room.
Right. In terms of ordering them by chronological order of recording.
Yeah, so all my 5-inch CDs done. But then because the very early ones were compilations, they're quite hard to put in an actual year order because the Easter special starting with the March of Dimes 57, whereas the rest of it 60s onwards. And
sure.
So I do the same. I start with the earliest. It's like the Out in Hollywood is a 60s compilation.
Yeah.
And they throw a 50s track on the end.
Right, sure. At the end, it's at the end, isn't it, for some reason, yeah.
It's just like, where did that come from?
Right.
But then you have almost standard 5-inch, and then they run into all the live. So all the live are in recording date order.
Yeah.
And then all the classic CDs sit on a top shelf. And then all the sessions are in a cabinet behind me in the books.
Right.
But then I try and put them back into order of his life.
And
it
makes sense because I mean there are so many of them, dozens of those live CDs, and if you're going to try and file those in order of release date, you're going to struggle, aren't you?
You'd never find it, and I've spent years working out what was the best way to store it all.
Yeah.
And what I found with the Facebook page, I'll be talking to fans all the time. We'll be talking about releases, and I'll spend forever trying to find one.
Right.
And in the end, I thought, I've got to get some order to this. If it's 1960, it's there.
Right.
And I finally did it.
Yeah, it makes more sense that way for finding stuff. I did find when I did a video about this project, I did find that one or two people said the books look good, but I would prefer it if you arranged it in chronological order of release. But yeah, I quite like this way of doing it. There are one or two albums that are a bit like, well, I don't know. So, for example, he's got these are the 5-inch albums here, standard series, he calls it, FTD standard studio recordings. But then at the end here, he's got hits of the 70s, which is a bit of an anomaly because he's put it in the standard 5-inch section, standard studio recording section, but this is a 7-inch size. But is it a classic album? It's not really a classic album, is it? Because it was not released everywhere.
There are some releases that go against the grain a little bit, and it annoys me sometimes when things go out of. It's like the classic albums should have been just all the classic albums plus bonus material. Our Memories of Elvis, you could have put in a classic album,
right?
Really, because it was released, first one 78, was it?
78, yeah.
So why not put them in a classic album sleeve instead of a small digipack?
Yeah, exactly.
Too much. Guitar Man, you could say, was a classic album. Released in 80. It was Felton Jarvis's last project.
Yeah.
And he died before it actually came out, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, they would have made sense in classic albums to me.
Well, I'm not sure about the Guitar Man, because they released Guitar Man as Too Much Monkey Business, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was still around those re-recording sessions.
I think if you're going to release something called Too Much Monkey Business and then put it in a classic album, if they'd called it Guitar Man and kept the same cover, then put it in the classic album. But
yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah. This is Elvis. That's in the classic album series. That one didn't come out until 81.
Yeah. But, so why not the Guitar Man?
Yeah.
And the Our Memories. They would have sat in the classics.
I agree with Our Memories, definitely.
And then you've got the non-albums that are in the classic Slaves, some of the Vegas concerts that are just additional discs. Why aren't they in the soundboard releases? It's not often, but there's a few releases.
Like Standing Room Only. Standing Room Only is in the classic album section, but it was never released as an album.
Yeah.
It's in a 7-inch. I just got that one yesterday, actually. I just bought it.
So all those albums in the 7-inch format, I class as classic albums, even though some of them aren't. Right,
like Elvis at American Sound. That's not an album, but it's in the classic album section.
Yeah.
So there are a few that are a little bit difficult to categorize, but you get used to the system pretty easily.
So I can have nice organized shelves. I just keep them in the actual format.
Yeah.
And rename them as classic albums.
Mm-hmm.
But then with the albums that have been released in the 5-inch format, have to sit at the end of my live section. So you'd have the last live concerts, and then you'd have the Our Memories and the what else?
Too Much Monkey Business.
Too Much Monkey Business. Yeah.
Right.
So they sit right at the end of my collection of 5-inch. Yes.
Another site I use to get some information from as well is Elvis on CD. So they have some quite good information about different pressings of each, because quite a lot of the FTDs were released more than once. There are 2 or 3 pressings out there. So elvisoncd.com has some interesting information about identifying which pressing you've got.
I use Elvis on CD a lot as well.
So that's the kind of thing that's also going in the book, by the way. If there are different pressings, we do mention that. Okay, everyone, we're going to leave it there for this video. So have any of you got the big books that Adam showed earlier? And if so, what do you think of them? And how do you feel about the upcoming English translations of the Japanese books? Will you be interested in getting those when they come out? Let us know in the comments section below. But that's it for now. We'll hopefully see you soon on our individual channels and again on the forum before very long. But we'll say Happy New Year and all the best for 2025.
Thank you for listening. I hope all of you enjoyed the program, and I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and pray